All right, so this is going to be a reading for Sagittarius, and for the Sagittarius that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing that you are closing off a pretty major cycle in a really positive way. This could have to do with eclipse season or the recent Aries full moon, but something is coming to a close for you, and I'm seeing that it's for all the better. So I'm really excited to do this reading for you. I think we have a great reading ahead of us. Before I continue, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. If this reading resonates with you, please take a moment to like and subscribe, as that helps out my channel a lot. And if you would like to book a personal reading, I do offer them. You can book a pre-recorded or live reading one-on-one with me at my website, ajstarot.com, which is also linked down below in the description box. So Sagittarius, let's take a look at what we are working with here. Your overall energy for the reading is the Empress. So this is all about self-love, stepping into the strongest, most abundant version of yourself. And when I clarified the Empress, I got the Six of Cups, the Queen of Pentacles, and the Two of Wands. So there's something that you are closing out from your past. It could be past connections, it could be a past situation, but it's almost like you're leveling up and you're moving on to the next phase. And in order to do that, it requires you to start to see not only your past in a clearer way, but start to see yourself in a clearer way. And I see you starting to make sense of things that happened in the past, and also making sense of yourself, where you fit, who you are, and what it is that you deserve specifically. And you're showing me it hasn't always been an easy process, but that you've taken like a laser-like focus to just deeply appreciating and understanding yourself. And so I'm seeing that that is paying off. Now, your oracle cards for today are sharing, transformation, and guilt. So when it comes to some of that past stuff, there could be some negative feelings attached to that with that guilt card. You could tend to ruminate or stay in your head or overanalyze, and you could have some guilt. You could be really hard on yourself about what happened in the past. But I'm seeing that opening up and sharing what you went through with other people, and also just making those new connections, really forming new friendships, forming new relationships, it's going to help you transform that energy of guilt, of pain from the past, and really step into the next phase of your life with the best foot forward. So really good energy here. It's always really good to see someone transmute those negative energies from the past, because sometimes people can stay stuck in those energies. And so if you are connecting to this reading, you are transmuting that energy, I'm very proud of you. I'm very happy for you. Now, in the recent past, we have the Magician, the Three of Pentacles, the World. You're showing me that there was something that you were contributing to that has come to a close. Could be a partnership, could be a team, a friend group, a work environment, a relationship, really anything. But you're showing me it was kind of always destined to end, and you're also showing me that in hindsight. So I realize now this was always meant to come to a close, but maybe when you were in it, obviously you were working towards it, you wanted the best for it, you didn't know it was going to come to a close. Let's take a look at what happened here with the Magician card. Seven of Swords, the High Priestess, the Death card. Your intuition was telling you things, it was sending you these pings. Notice this, don't forget that, this looks like a red flag, all those types of things. And I'm seeing that you were sort of trying to tell yourself that your intuition wasn't right, or you didn't need to listen to those little pings, because you didn't want this to end. You didn't want to kind of come to this from a negative perspective. Sometimes it's hard to listen to our intuition when it's telling us things that we don't want to hear. But in a way, by not listening to your intuition, you kind of ran smack into that ending even faster, because you are moving down a path that on some level you knew wasn't right for you. And for some of you, this could be what the guilt is around. You could feel bad that you didn't listen to your intuition, but don't feel bad. It was a learning experience, and it was something that was meant to show you what it feels like when you don't listen to your intuition and what it feels like when you do. And now, hopefully, you're all the wiser for it. Let's take a look at the Three of Pentacles in the recent past, the Two of Cups, the Ace of Cups, the Fool. So whoever was on the other side of this, you're showing me I don't trust them now, or it's hard for me to connect to them now. I got burned through this relationship, but at the time it was something that made you feel really open, really loved, and you were just following your heart. And when we follow our hearts, we don't always know what's going to happen next. We're just kind of going based off of how we feel. And so that's one reason why it's important not to be ashamed of whatever happened in your past, because for better or for worse, you were just following your heart, and sometimes that's all we can ask, right? Let's take a look at the World's card. The Four of Pentacles, the Three of Wands, the Ten of Pentacles. You're showing me that you held on to trying to make this work for as long as you could. Maybe there was a time, a long time, for some of you 2, 3, 4 years, where you were really hoping that this would come back together. You were kind of holding out hope, you were waiting, and you were just holding on to what it was, to all those beautiful energies, to all the love, and you were really trying to keep it together. But I see that coming to an end now, and you're saying, I recognize that this is done. So whatever this isn't something that you are still trying to make work. This is a situation that you have fully recognized is complete, is done, at least in the physical. There might be some, daydreams about this. There might be some energetic exchanges, but for all intents and purposes, in the physical, real world, this is something that has finished. And in this way, this was something that you did learn a lot about yourself through. This really was a journey that brought you closer to yourself, even though it was quite difficult. In the current energy, we have the Queen of Swords, the Five of Cups, and the Six of Swords. So there's a recognition here that even though this was difficult, even though it was painful, it served a higher purpose. There was something that I needed to do here, and it involved you sticking to your truth and really honoring your truth. And so some of you might have spoken about whatever happened here. You might have spoken your truth to someone else, and that might have been a painful or difficult process, and it might have led you to move forward. But ultimately, you're saying, I said what I needed to say, I did what I needed to do, and I know that even though this is painful, I'm doing the right thing by moving on. I dropped some cards here, so I'm just picking them up. For many of you, this is a message that Spirit has been wanting to deliver to you. And I'm saying that because the cards are just flying right out of my hands. So the energy is definitely flowing. Let's take a look at the Queen of Swords. This is you stepping into your power and speaking up. The Tower, the Page of Wands, the Six of Swords. So something came down. Something came kind of crashing down, maybe very suddenly. And all of a sudden it opened up this pathway of the only way forward is forward. The only way forward is out of this. I need to move on. I need to move forward. And you've been kind of grappling with the pain of that. Let's take a look at the Five of Cups, the Five of Wands, the Ace of Wands, the Ten of Cups. This is disappointing to you because you really were hoping that this was going to work out, that you had high hopes for this, and you thought, this could be my happily ever after. This could be my community. This could be the partnership for me. This could be my happily ever after. And it's very hard for you to kind of reckon with the fact that this didn't end up going the way that you wanted, that it did end up going south. And so that might be something that a part of you is still grieving. For the Six of Swords, we got the Empress, the Page of Swords, the Two of Swords. You're showing me a commitment to, wherever I move on to next, I want to prioritize myself. I want it to come from a self-loving place. But there's also this question of, how do I do that? How do I love myself? What is the most self-loving thing to do? What would it really look like to put myself first? And it's not that you don't love yourself. It's just a question of what's next for me. What is it that will serve my highest good? And what is it that I really want? And I do see that question being answered because in the near future, we have the Sun, the Eight of Wands, the Knight of Swords, and you might hear my cat April, I'm cat sitting. She's meowing, and it's funny that she started meowing when she did because she's actually sitting in the sun. So just further confirmation that the sun is coming out in your life, and that soon you will be sitting in the sun if you're not already. For the Sun card, we get the King of Pentacles, the World, the Three of Pentacles. There's something about this connection or whatever it was that you were dealing with in your past that wasn't nourishing you. It wasn't lending to your stability. Maybe you were putting a lot into this and you weren't getting a lot out, and you were trying to build up your stability. Maybe you were trying to build a great home space, a great family, a stable work environment. But whatever this was that was around you, it wasn't contributing to that. If anything, it might have been taking away from your stability. And so I see you finding a lot of happiness because now you can support yourself without this energy kind of pulling away from you. And I see you feeling better for it, just feeling a lot more secure, a lot more stable. And, you know, you may not have noticed while this was going on that it was taking away from your stability, but I see you getting back on your own 2 feet and feeling a lot better because of it. Let's take a look at the Eight of Wands. We have something coming in, and it's coming in fast here. The Three of Swords, the Justice card, the Six of Pentacles. There is pain from this connection, whatever it was. You could feel like you weren't treated fairly. You could feel betrayed. You could feel really heartbroken. But I see you actually balancing that out as well. And so I see you balancing out your material stability, and I also see you balancing out your emotional stability and understanding the truth. And I'll never forget, I was going through something, and a mentor of mine, I was telling her about it, and I was talking about how people were, you know, lying about me and spreading rumors, and, you know, I knew the truth, but nobody else knew the truth. And she said, who needs to know the truth? Because you know the truth. So even if someone else is saying something or doing something, lying, you know, whatever it is, you know the truth. And so whoever you need to know the truth, you know, if that's a close friend, if that's your family, you can tell them. But regardless of what people say or what they do, you know the truth. And so let your truth carry you forward, even if you do feel betrayed, even if you do feel hurt, Sagittarius. I see you coming into your own and understanding your own personal truth, and that making you a lot stronger because no one can take your own truth away from you. Let's take a look. Hi, April. Hi. April's got some things to say. Hi, honey. I love when you're talking to your cat and your cat talks back. I'm like, yeah, we're on the same wavelength for sure. Alright, AP. Okay. Alright, AP co-signs this reading. Let's get 3 cards for the Knight of Swords in the near future, the Lovers, the 5 of Pentacles, the 4 of Cups. Whatever connection you were involved here, I'm seeing that it meant a lot to you, and so it's very hard to accept that it had to come to a close because you felt so connected to this connection. And so there are going to be times where you feel pretty frazzled, pretty frenzied, and pretty upset. And just know that that is a part of the rebalancing process. I'm seeing that you're focusing on recovering from what you went through. You're focusing on coming back into yourself and restoring your strength. And there's going to be times where that energy sort of falters, or you don't feel as strong, you feel kind of confused, you feel upset, you struggle. And that's okay, but I do see you balancing that energy out over time, the longer that you work on sort of focusing on yourself. Let's get 3 cards of advice for you. The Hermit, the Moon, the Queen of Wands. You are going through a long journey of healing, and it's a journey where all that stuff under the surface comes up to the surface and asks to be looked at, asks to be acknowledged. And this isn't something that's going to, end right away. If anything, it's something that came up because it needs to be examined. So just keep going down your healing journey because you are on the right path. So this is what I have for you, Sagittarius. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates, and I'll see you next time.